Hey guys, welcome to J.A.A.R Byway. Today I'm gonna be reviewing a DAC amp that is made in Malaysia. It's called the Stoner Acoustic UD130. It's designed and assembled in Malaysia. Let's go. Alright, so now we're gonna talk about the build of this DAC amp. Basically, it's fairly small. I would even consider this as a portable DAC amp, even though it has got no battery built in. Let's see. At the back of it, there's a printing Stoner Acoustic, the model and design and assembled in Malaysia, a micro USB port, and then a selectable USB glass. Alright, and then up front we have the headphone out port, and then the mode indicator LED, and then there's a clickable switch, and then there's this analog digital kind of volume control. We'll talk more on the features later on, and then this is just gonna be the build of it. For information, it doesn't come with this full kind of padding. I just put them on to prevent the back of it from being scratched on the surface. So yeah, it came with a carrying pouch, which I didn't show. It looked something like this, and then a USB cable, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, because I had this unit for quite a bit of time, so I've decided to listen to it for a bit of time before I actually do a review about it. Alright, now we're going to talk about the chip that's actually powering this DAC. I'm not going to go into details about the specification, but if you're interested to know, I'll post them up at the description below. Just check them out. I'll just briefly glance through the main important one. First of all, this is the DAC is using a AKM 4493 high performance DAC, and then it also have the dual channel high power amplifier. It's a TPA 6120A, and then it has got the Savitech SA9227 USB audio receiver, and then a selectable USB glass. Okay, yeah, so this thing basically has got the upper mid-range AKM chip, so in my opinion the performance is fairly good. We'll talk more about the sound of it in a while. Alright, so we're going to talk about how you can actually operate this unit. Okay, it's fairly straightforward, and most of the instructions can be found on their website as well, but I'll just bring you guys through it, a very simple and brief one. At the back of this DAC amp, it has got a USB class switch 1 and 2. Okay, you have to switch to either one before you actually plug this into the computer. I mean, if you want to switch it to 1 or 2, you have to unplug it and then switch it, and then only you can plug it back into the computer in order for the Windows to recognize it. Okay, so for class 1, it is kind of like a plug and play. You don't require any driver to actually operate it. It supports 24 bits up to 96 kilohertz, and it's plug and play, and it doesn't support DSD playback. It's fairly straightforward because no drivers required. As for the USB class 2, you can actually download the drivers from Stoner Acoustics website and install them, and then you will be able to you will be able to decode DSD up to 256, and then you can select up to 32 bits and 384 kilohertz. Alright, and let's talk about the front panel. This is the headphone out port, and then as I mentioned earlier, this is the mode indicator. Red color will indicate that this DAC amp is actually on a line out mode, where you can connect this DAC to a amp, and this thing will function solely as a DAC itself, and then it will leave the amplification work on the external amp. Okay, and then okay, here's the set button. Okay, when you plug this in and when you click on it once, it will actually turn on the high gain mode. Okay, and when you hold it for about 2 to 3 seconds, this LED will actually turn into red color, as I mentioned earlier, which is the line out mode. Alright, and then sorry, I forgot to mention that the high gain mode, the LED indicator is purplish kind of thing, and then as for the low gain mode, which is the default mode, when the DAC amp boot into, it's a bluish kind of LED. Alright, and this volume control, it's actually a analog to digital kind of potentiometer. And what's the good thing about this is you will not experience any kind of channel imbalance that you have with the analog volume controller. You can just, you know, go anywhere you want and you won't have any kind of channel imbalance. Alright, so this is actually fairly straightforward on the operation side. Alright, so we're gonna talk about the sound of this little DAC over here. I mean, this thing is really good for its price. It's about $80, and then if you convert it to a ringgit Malaysia, it's about RM 290 when I bought it. And to me, in my opinion, I would say that this little DAC can actually compete with the i-Fi's Zen DAC or something, or hip DAC. I used to have a hip DAC. I would say the performance is fairly close, although costing 2 to 3 times higher. I mean, of course, there are some other components that they use that's better in the i-Fi, but price performance ratio, I mean, this thing really nailed it, man. Yeah, so we're just gonna talk about the sound. I tried it with my I plugged my Grado SR80X into the output port, and then I listened to it via my Windows 10 PC, playing the my local library files. Most are FLAC or DSDs. And one particular track that actually caught my attention is Toto's Africa. I mean, the live version. Check it out. I mean, it's really good. Okay, and I mean, you know Grado, you know their house sound. They have that kind of intimate meat. And then when I plug this into this DAC, basically it doesn't make the Grado any shoutier or more, or boost any kind of treble or anything, but it kind of gives the Grado more dynamism, in a sense that when I listen to the Toto's Africa, it actually made me feel like I'm in the music itself. The audience clap, you know, the soundstage that this thing renders, it's just so good that I'm totally immersed in the music itself. Like the bass is tight, it's controlled, it's not overly done, rendered by this little DAC. And then as far as the treble goes, it doesn't peak. I mean, it's not peaky, it's not shouty, it's not sibilant. I can actually listen with the Grado for quite a long time. And let me see, what else? I tried another different track, which is a Chinese. I would say it's a Mando pop kind of thing from Anita Mui. It's called 亲密爱人. Her voice is actually very luscious, very thick when I listen to it through this little DAC over here. and I liked it, man. It's not something I would expect coming from this little DAC, because you know, as I said earlier, I had a i5 hip DAC, and I actually have a you know, I have already had my expectation up there with the i5's hip DAC, but I just didn't expect that this UD130 to actually perform on par with it, man. Come on, I mean, this is like 290 ringgit compared to 750 ringgit, yeah, somewhere around there. It's just so good, man. Yeah, I have no words for it. It's just so good. And then the build quality, I would say it's fairly solid. It's held by the aluminiums and stuff. And then if you want to, you know, take a look inside the board, you can just unscrew them and then you can just slide it out. But I didn't do that because, yeah, I don't want to. And yeah, I mean, overall it's a pretty good DAC if you can if you're able to purchase them, because when I bought this unit, the owner kind of told me that they are running out of stock from their inventory, and I'm not sure if they're still producing it anymore because of the recent incident on the AKM. And they were told that the chip is very expensive right now for AKM's chip, as you can see that most of the not most, but a lot of the manufacturers are actually moving away from AKM's chip to ESS or even CS chip. Yeah, so but I will drop the link of the website at the bottom, at the description. You can actually try to email them and see if it's still available. I mean, if it is, then you're in luck. If not, then too bad. You can actually look for a used one from markets such as the Carousel, or I don't know, some used market web store. I mean, used market web store. Yeah, Carousel is one of it, and Malaysia's Muda. Yeah, you can actually just try a luck and check them out. Yep, that's about it for today. And if you have any questions or anything that you would like to know about this little thing, you can just drop me a comment below. And if you like my video, or you know, please just subscribe it, like, and share it. And also, I mean, if you guys notice, I actually put up a better lighting this time and a better microphone. So cheers, and see you guys next time. Ta-da!